All right, everybody, we're here with the BAMS magazine, used to be AKA Fooyah magazine. We're going to get a brief intro. Give the people a brief intro. Introduce yourself.
My name is Steve Dirk. I'm the Grandmaster of a system called Full Circle, and it's basically an in-tight fighting, realistic self-defense. We use a lot of basic stuff that you're taught in many different systems. We teach people to what I say is create in the midst. In the midst of a battle, create. When you spar, create. Go to the ground, go to standing. Do what you have to do.
Once again, we're here with the BAMS magazine. We talked about creating in the midst. One of the things we always like, I think a lot of people misinterpret urban. They think that the urban environment, people in that environment are unpractical. I think they're some of the most realistic people you can meet because they got to always adapt to whatever the world throws them. How is that related to your method of fighting?
In our method of fighting, a lot of martial arts systems are based on a kata, a series of moves depicting a fight. But as our culture changes, you got to change what you're teaching. You got to change what's reality. When I go down through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or I'm down in Florida last week, on the corner, I see two 10-year-old kids fighting with knives, just trying to hit each other. They don't know enough. The teachers, they don't know. But they do know that they're trying to hurt each other, trying to learn to be better. In reality, it happens. You fall down, you get up, you're taught to stand perfectly. It doesn't work. I mean, it works in the dojo. We've done that. Anywhere you go, you do it, but it doesn't work in reality. So what we teach is a system that allows you to learn to create, clear, control, take away, get out of the way, close in, close out. The object isn't to stand there and beat him to death and look pretty, it's to get away and survive. That's what we do. Most martial artists, if they're looking for the real thing, that's what they're going to give you. They're going to give you like what the band gives you. It's the real thing. It's reality of ground fighting, stand fighting. There's a lot of art to it, tradition to some things, but I think the true tradition is survival. And a lot of people get passed on that.
It's awesome. You just got me pumped up. I think of a guy on the basketball court. And I think when you think of basketball, before they didn't put all the rules, you had guys breaking backboards, you had guys doing all kinds of tricks. I always tell somebody, you want to learn how to move and fight, take a basketball and play with pressure in the city. Once you can learn to fight in that method or punch in that method, you become so unorthodox. The other man's struggling to try to keep up with your unorthodox motion. And it's like we created something called, and it's not the one individual system, but we call it Kung Fu Hip Hop. Because I believe everything we should do should be based on rhythm, flow, and movement. And that's what you're saying.
It is. It sounds silly, but when we teach using, you brought that up, basketball.
Yes, sir.
We teach football in your hand, we teach because why would I do that? Because it's unorthodox. You're not going to do that. And it's true, you call it, everybody carries a basic pocket knife. We all have little pocket knives, different types. Right? Big, small, this will kill you right in here. Right? It doesn't have to be a big weapon to be effective. You don't have to have a big stick to be effective. What you have to have is the heart and the ability to create. Like you say, that move and that just, I don't know what happens.
Go ahead, you can go around. Go ahead. Go.
That movement about going around and dropping and turning and falling. You do all these different, really awesome forms of systems, and your ability to just leap is amazing. But the truth of it is, it's not because you're trying to be pretty, it's trying, what if I have to do that?
Right. And that's what's different. When you grew up in the city, we would play on elevators, so you would have to jump from one elevator to the next elevator. Or you on a roof, you would have to jump from one roof to the other roof. And I laugh about it, but I always, and in my class I teach, when the police was chasing you after you did a crime, you had to be able to shake and bake them. Because the truth of the matter is, back then, police weren't in shape. So they were like real heavy, they had all the weight, they had all the equipment on. So the object was to run, and the moment he gets so into you running, you slip back and shake, and he's sliding across the floor. So you're right, I would never do a flip, or never do anything that did not have some sort of practical application. And in the city, we flipped. We did acrobats, and I'm not trying to be funny towards some. I remember one time somebody wrote an article. They said all the acrobatical stuff never works. And the thing that I'm saying, we did acrobats because if you came up every day and somebody was being murdered on your doorstep, or somebody was being beat to death, or some kid was being, I could not go to sleep without gunfire or ambulances. So the ability to be able to get away from it was to go on the side and flip and run up the wall, because it freed you and made you be able to deal with the graphic of reality that you was going through. Does that make sense?
This is how it makes sense to me. This is the truth. People tell you, when I was told Mom said, don't play in traffic. We did.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we
sir.
found out
Yeah,
everything.
yes.
Dodge Jim cars. We thought that was smart.
Yes, sir.
That was
Yes, sir.
idiotic.
Yes.
But you're talking about jumping over things, falling over things. If I get some situations, if I'm doing like escort work and I have to go over top of the table or I have to go under the table, you do have to go do these things.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know,
sir.
it's funny to see when you do things like I can do split schools. That's impossible. You're fat.
Yeah,
well, you know
right,
what?
right,
But you know what? I don't do
right,
it to impress
right.
people. I do it because it's something I may have to do.
Yes,
I don't.
yes.
Most people talk. If you're gonna kick someone in the head, knock them down, then kick them. But what if I can't? What if the only thing I have is a headshot? You know, use what you got to use. Use what's available.
Yeah, it's so funny because, and I'm not saying anything against what Bruce Lee, some of the statements that he made. I remember he said only kick to the knees, but you're right. When you train your body to be so, it responds to whatever.
Yes.
Whenever you in combat, you train your body to get to a point where if your legs say want to kick to the head, let it kick to the head.
Yeah, you don't have to
you
think
should
about
not be. Yeah, you should not be thinking about it. But what we find is that when man tries to tell you how to be good, and he trains you in a method that was based on his reality, he hinders you from growing to find your own reality. And when we go in the dojo, that's like when my school, I say all my black belts will never be like me, because I want them to be better than me. So every time we work, you're going to challenge me, because if you can't challenge me, I become stagnated. I don't want to be stagnated. I want to grow, I want to flow, I want to enjoy life. Like what we're doing right now, it's like, that's what life's all about. That's what martial arts is about. But when man, and I think it's their own insecurity, I don't want my student to do a little bit better than me, because then he's gonna make me look bad. That's what people. But that's what I think our industry comes to.
If it takes say you pick a system and it takes you 4 years to get black belt, I want my students to get that black belt in less time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want that to happen.
Yes,
I want
sir.
people to get better. The full circle system teaches everything from throwing to sweeping to knife fighting, stick fighting to ground, even the taekwondo kicking.
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing. This guy might be better at kicking. That guy might be better at ground fighting.
Yeah.
They become what they are. You give them, like you do, you give them all of it, and they become what they fit best in. That's what it's about.
It's so funny. I'm sorry. It's like they say when you go to the Chinese restaurant, the buffet is so big, pick whatever you like. Don't pick what I like. That's all. And then what's so awesome when you find what you're good at, and I found what I'm good at. When we come together, we have such a wealth of knowledge.
That made you good.
That's
I was taught when I got better, a little better than some of the guys, they said, okay, if you're so good, don't use your left arm. Don't attack with your left arm and left leg. So there's no way, even if you're a 5th, 6th degree black belt, your yellow belt sparring you can teach you. Tell yourself, all I'm going to use is my right hand. That's all I got.
That's it.
You challenge yourself to where there's no way you can always learn from everybody.
That's it.
And that's real important.
And that's what I think how I live my life every day. I wake up and I'm a beginner. I'm a kid. Every day I wake up. I don't. Go ahead. You can go ahead. Yeah. Every day I wake up, I'm a kid. I just want to start all over again. And that brings me to something I just want to ask you too. It's like Wesley Snipes. And we've been talking to everybody about Wesley, and it's funny because through my own struggles, I went to where Wesley was at. And I remember in that place, I wish that people outside were shooting some love back to me through the vibrations. But nobody did do that. But when I look at what did happen with Wesley, and I look at trying to work and talk to his family and trying to send the love out, you never know what struggle you go through and how it's going to become of service for someone else.
That is the truth. Any struggle you have. I've had a lot of problems. My brother recently went through cancer surgery, and the dark stage is recovering. But you look at your brother, and here's a man who was strong and healthy, and he's lean now, and he's trying to recover. But everything you do, you go in a praise act.